Welcome to the Alpha Girl Confidence Podcast, where we are empowering youth female athletes to play and live confidently. My name is Shay Haddo, and each week I will bring you new episodes to teach you the strategies and tools that you need in order to live a confident, empowered life both on and off the playing field. Hey, what's up? And welcome back to episode 142. Today is another very special episode where I got the chance to sit down with Jordan Grundl, who I've been working with since September. So I don't know how many months that is. Go ahead and count it up. But I'm really excited about this episode. Jordan is a 17-year-old player from Munich, Germany. And actually, on the date of this episode airs, July 22nd, it is Jordan's birthday. So as you listen to this episode, go wish Jordan a happy birthday because she deserves it. So you're going to get a lot out of this episode, whether you're a player, a parent, or a coach, where Jordan really opens up about her struggles during the coronavirus, how she stayed motivated, how she has really transformed her confidence and the journey she's gone on, which has included a lot of ups and downs. So again, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know that I got a lot out of it, and I know that you will as well. Enjoy. Jordan, what's up, girl? Welcome to the show. I'm super excited to have you on because we always have such great conversations. So excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So we're going to start off, instead of me just saying, Jordan, tell us about you, I'm going to ask you like a few kind of a quick questions so that the listeners can get to know you. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us where you're from and what team you currently play for.
So I'm Jordan. I'm from Munich, Germany. And my mom was born in Toronto, Canada, obviously. Last season, I played for FC Bayern Munich, their U17 team in the Youth Bundesliga. And now I transferred to FC Stern in their first league. They play in the women's fourth league. And really happy to have made that choice.
Yeah, I know it was a good move for you, which I'm sure we'll probably get into a little bit as we talk. Okay, what are you most excited about right now in your life?
Well, school's over now for this, or almost over for the summer, so I'm really happy to focus on the preseason and really get into it, get to know the team, and just have a great season ahead of me, and
it's been a long time coming for you. I know.
Yeah, it's been a long year.
Yeah, I know. How many languages do you speak?
German fluent, English from my mom, and in school I have Spanish, so 3.
There you go. We always talk about how much smarter you are than I am with all your languages and everything. So I had to ask because I wasn't sure if it was 3 or if it was more. And then last question, who is your favorite player?
From the women's side, Jordan Grundl. I really like her style of play, and she's Canadian, and also on social media very hilarious. And then from the men's side, I have 2 or 3. Cristiano Ronaldo. He's just great. His mentality, discipline, everything, his style of play. And then I also really like João Felix from Atletico. And I really also like his style of play, very technical player. And those are like my top 3.
Awesome. There you go. Thank you. Okay, cool. So let's kind of get into it. I feel like we know a decent amount about you. At least I feel like I know everything about you, right? Just kidding. But okay, so what really prompted you to start working on your confidence and your mental game? Like what was going on with you that like you were like, okay, it's time for me to like really start working on this?
So for the people who read your book, at the beginning, you kind of told us how you felt about playing after your injury, and I kind of felt the same way without an injury. Well, I started with the girls team, that was fine there, and then I with I think 12 or 13 years, I went into the boys league with a complete boys team, and there it kind of started where I got kind of shy and insecure about myself because I was completely surrounded by boys. And at that time, I also changed schools completely to an almost complete boys' school. I was the only girl in my class from the soccer team, and so it was a lot of boys. And I don't know, I just felt a lot insecure about myself, and my confidence level went down. And during playing, I don't know, there was just some situations and it got more and more. And then when I changed to Bayern, it didn't really get better because it was a way higher league and there were very high expectations from the coaches, from family. Like I mean, you, how do you say it, you give yourself a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You expect a lot from yourself.
Yeah.
And I was really struggling with that, and I couldn't play to my full potential, and that's why I then started getting in contact with you and
Yeah.
working
Yes.
on it.
Yeah. That was, I was looking back through our texts and it was like last September, right? That was kind of when you were transitioning from like that boys team over to FC Bayern, right? Yeah. Yeah. So when you were playing with the boys, because that's interesting, because there's some players that play with boys and they feel more confident. That was probably me when I played. And then some players feel less confident with the boys. What
Yeah.
was it about playing with the boys that kind of made you feel like insecure?
It was just for that time. I mean, in general, I think girls at the age of 12 to 14, I think you're just in general a bit more insecure about yourself because your body's changing, everything's just changing. And then at that time, with the school and the soccer, I mean, that was my life, or it still is my life. It's school and soccer, and that's mostly it. And so I'll just being around so many boys, as weird as it sounds, but it was just a lot for me. And at that time, and it was just overwhelming. And then like I used to take a lot of stuff really personal, and I still do sometimes. And so every single little comment from a boy just really, took it way too personal. And then that got even more and more. And then you feel insecure about yourself, or I do.
Yeah, no. And I like how you brought up like that age, right? Like 13, 14
Yeah.
is when your body starts to change, and like there's a lot of social pressure too, like friends and drama. And I think that's very common for girls to start to feel not very confident and insecure around that age. And especially when you're with boys, like it's just right. And that's when I
Just
quit
different.
playing.
And
Yeah. Yeah, like I think I was 12 when I stopped playing with boys. So you were like 13, 14 when you were still doing that?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's like getting older, right? Playing with boys is
Yeah.
definitely a challenge.
Exactly that time. And also I mean, it's not only the girls that are changing, I mean the boys are too. And
Right.
it gets kind of awkward then.
Yeah, that's when it starts to get a little bit muddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you switched over to FC Bayern, like what were your biggest obstacles during like that kind of like phase of your career?
Well, of course, well, firstly, it's a way bigger team, so there are a lot of players there. And yeah, it's just, you know, that you have to perform at your best, and so that you get the playing time. And at the beginning, I got a lot of playing time, but then there were matches where I didn't perform the way I wanted to. And then the mental side was not my best side, I'd say, and got me down a lot. And then I got benched a lot. And that's like the time where, I don't know, it just wasn't really.
Yeah. It was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know we worked through that stuff a lot, right? Like
Yeah.
just the whole plan. What for you, what was the hardest part of like not getting playing time and like being benched?
Um I don't really know how to say this nice. So maybe you don't want to put this into the podcast.
Just say it. Just say it.
But to be honest, especially in the first team, U17 won, the coach didn't really, I mean, I was really performing like way better than I did before, and he still didn't put me up. And that was like the thing that pissed me off a lot.
Like how at that time, and there's no right or wrong answer here, just looking back at that, how do you feel like you handled like being on the bench, and how do you feel like you handled like not getting the playing time that you thought you deserved?
Well, we worked through it, I think, very well, and you kept me motivated. And yeah, I mean, it was a really hard time also with Corona and stuff like that. It was a weird season, and just everything was different, and you weren't like on top level, and so it was just weird and different and not like the way it should be. So and also on the mental side, of course, I mean, Corona also did a lot of damage to other people mentally. But just in general, I always thought, okay, next time you get another chance. And yeah, as I said, we worked through it good with some tools, and
Yeah.
I kind of did it then.
Yeah. And going back to Corona, like I know, like obviously for everybody that, especially teenagers that are playing sports, like it was really hard. But also what people don't understand is that how much worse it was in Germany. Right.
Yeah.
Like tell us about like what were kind of the ups and downs, because you guys, like every time we talked, it was something new.
Yeah.
And so you guys went through so much more. So like what kind of talk to us about, I guess, what happened with that, and kind of the I guess the mental challenges that you had to kind of overcome with that.
Yeah. I mean, in general, every time we talked, we were in lockdown, I think. So,
Yeah.
or we were like way stricter than you were.
Yeah.
And this is actually not like it's in America, you're just allowed to go onto any random soccer field and just play there. And here it's a bit different. I mean, we don't have soccer fields from our schools or universities or whatever. They're only from our teams, and the teams don't allow. They don't even allow to. They don't allow it for normal people, I'd say, to go play there.
Yeah.
But they also don't allow it for their own team players to go play there when they're not in training.
Right.
Because of insurance and stuff like that.
Right.
So
right.
I saw a lot of videos from kids in the US still being outside and having like individual practice here, or just going out by themselves. It was really hard here because you couldn't just go onto fields and stuff like that. And then we also had a lot of hard rules with the curfew and stuff like that. We weren't allowed to go. I mean, we also had times where we weren't allowed to go outside to go for walks, like normal walks, only with your dog or stuff, because you really had to go out with them. But yeah, it was a lot harder here, and we had long lockdowns, and I think two or three, can't even remember, but we had I think 2 lockdowns, and they went on for quite a while. And yeah, it was very hard. And then our season got interrupted with the second lockdown, and it also didn't finish. So yeah, from November until March, we were completely in lockdown and online practice, and yeah, was difficult. We all mastered it.
Yes, you did. And that's the thing is like, well, I want to ask you, because this is huge, is what was your, because I know your motivation went up and down at times, right? But like how did you stay motivated through all of that?
So with social media, there were a lot of home workouts that looked kind of cool. So there were times where I really wasn't motivated at all. I mean, the beginning of the second lockdown was horrible. I was like, we're not gonna get out of this in 2 months. So if I skip the first week, whatever. I mean, and you can't at home, you can't get to that level where you get in practice. So in general, it was really hard to stay motivated because you felt like whatever you do, it's not enough, or it's not a lot, or it's not enough to get fit in time for whenever the season would start, or stuff like that. So that was really yeah, it was really hard. But when we had online practice again, it kind of got you in a flow and a routine, and routines helped me a lot. You also said start doing routines and stuff. So yeah, that it was a bit better then, but especially the first 2 weeks of the second lockdown, and then during Christmas and stuff like that, it was just not my best time. But other than that, I would say I did pretty well during the lockdown. I kept myself fit, and I have my rebounder here and my own little training area here.
Yeah.
So I did the best I could, and I'm kind of happy with what I've achieved during lockdown. So
You should be very happy. And you know what the thing is like, I think too many times society tells us that we need to be motivated all the time, like 24/7. You have to be motivated. You have to be going out and doing things. And if you're not motivated, then you're not getting any better. And I think that sometimes that's a bit misleading and a bit dangerous advice, because if that's how you believe and then you're not motivated, then you start to lose confidence and you don't feel very good about yourself, right? But I feel like you did a really good job at, like, yeah, you weren't motivated all the time, and that's totally okay, but you were motivated a lot of the time, and you should be very proud of yourself for, all of the work you put in and all of the running, right? You hate running
yeah.
just like I do. You hate running.
Well, I went on a run last week or something. And I was actually happy running. It was hilarious. And I was so fast. I was like, "Oh my god, what is wrong?"
Okay, so let's give the listeners a little context, because we're like laughing about it, right? But why is so okay, let's say, I don't know, like maybe 5-6 months
Wait.
ago.
Just to get back to the other one.
Yes.
My mom always, this is my favorite quote. She always says, successful people aren't always motivated, but they're constantly disciplined. And that's something where I'd say I love this quote, and it describes me a lot, and especially during lockdown. That's the thing that I was very proud about. That I was constantly disciplined. Like, I mean, I'm 16 now and I haven't drunken alcohol yet. I mean,
Good. And in Germany, that's normal.
Different in Germany because we're allowed to with 14 actually.
Yes.
We're allowed to drink champagne and stuff with your parents though.
Yes.
But with 14, I mean, hello.
Yes.
And a lot of kids do that with, I don't know, 13 or 12 or whatever. Anyways, with 16, you're allowed to drink beer. I don't know the exact rules, but beer. But there are also other drinks you're allowed to, and then with 18 completely. So yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, okay, it's during lockdown, it's not the time where you go partying, but still, I know a lot of people that, yeah,
it's easy to do
alcohol doing lockdown.
Yeah,
so,
when you're bored.
And not just with alcohol, but just in general, like not eating fast food and sweets all day. So always disciplined, but not always motivated.
I love that. I'm actually, that's going to be like the picture, your Jordan's quote. I know that you didn't create the quote, but that's like, I love that, because I try to live by that as well. So that's great. Okay. So let's get into the running thing. So why is it so funny to you and to me that, like, when you went running last week, you were like happy?
So, yeah, I just hate running. Just running with a ball and at practice, it's fine, it's fun. Not everything. I mean, like intervals, yeah.
Intervals,
yeah.
Not so
but
much.
Other than that, running is fine as long as it's during practice with the ball and you don't really know you're running. You don't notice it. You don't concentrate on running. But going out for a run, I hated it, really. And then during lockdown, we had we had this app and we compared ourselves to our other teammates, and I wasn't always the fastest, and because I hated running, I wasn't the best at running. And yeah, I just really didn't enjoy it. And I was at that point where when I went out for a run, I was just I almost puked because I was so I just hated running, and every time the coach said, "Yeah, get on the line," I was like, "Oh my god, I'm feeling sick," and I really didn't want to go for a run. So, yeah, and what did we do? The affirmation.
Yeah. So yeah, like what did you do to I know you still don't love it, which I don't expect that, but like what have you done to kind of like make it better during that process?
Yeah, right. So I have my little affirmations next to my mirror, and one of them is I love to run. And I never loved to run, but now it's kind of it's not that bad anymore. And as I said, I really enjoyed it. And I have one on my phone here.
Let's
I
see
love
it.
to run.
Oh, it says I love to
See it, or
run.
is
Yeah,
it
you people will be able to see video and
I love
audio.
to run
Yeah.
and get out of your comfort zone.
Oh, I love that.
Mhm. So every time I see that, also unconsciously,
Hmm.
there you
Yep.
go. So yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of enjoy it now.
There you go.
I-
So yeah, back when that was happening for the listeners, like I encouraged Jordan to write "I love to run" in her affirmations. Like I don't know if you wrote it every day or whatever, but just you looked at it all the time, right? And so that was a big thing. Also, I want to touch on because you had the app where you could compare yourself to other people.
yeah.
So like, how did you handle the comparison piece?
Um, it was, I mean, we handled the situation kind of right in the middle. So we kind of then stopped. I mean, we didn't go running then because we went into normal practice then.
Yeah.
But in general, I turned off the notifications so I wouldn't get notifications when someone went running. I tried my best to not look at their stats. I mean, there were some times where I just went in and scrolled through, but I mostly ignored them and stopped comparing myself. The most struggle I had when I actually went running then, I didn't know the stats, but from the previous stats, I knew I was still slower.
Mm.
But I was then at some point, I was just, whatever, I'm running. Be happy, you're running.
Yay.
Better than lying at home. So,
I love that. Yeah. Cause I know it was huge, like you being able to see your teammates' stats and that you were one of the slower ones and you just didn't feel like you were good enough and you were always stressed about the time on your watch.
yeah,
Right. And so just like turning off the apps and then just getting to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm running and that's great. And it's better than
yeah.
sitting at home, on the
Actually,
couch.
funny story
Yeah.
as well. Now my new team, I've got, I think 2 to 3 times someone went up to me and said, "Why are you running so much? What is up with you?" Like during the game, during practice games, I was like, "What?" And I actually do. I am running a lot, and I've gotten faster. I have the feeling that I've gotten faster a bit, at
I'm sure
least.
you have.
And yeah, so we're getting there.
Yes.
And
And it's
it
not,
makes me happy, like, to hear that. I was like, "What? Me? A lot of running? Okay, then."
yeah, because not even a year ago, it was like you hated it and you
Yeah.
weren't very fast, right? And like, and now it's just like you've just put in the work physically and
And I'm
mentally.
even in a women's team. I mean, imagine that. I'm 16. They're like, I mean, the youngest player is 19, and
Mm,
that's one. And the rest is like 20, 21, and a lot of older women. So, and I'm faster, or I run more than them.
that's amazing. You
Yeah.
should, brag about that. And so, okay, I don't know if I knew that they were all like that much older than you.
Yeah.
What has that been like confidence wise? Have you felt pretty good?
Actually, so with my decision, I was struggling a lot because I didn't know where to go and what to do. I had connections to Gilching, which is the fifth league team, and also to Ingolstadt, their second league, which is actually really good.
Mhm.
But just playing at that high level, especially if I want to go to college next year, um, I just want to get a lot of playing time, and playing second league as a 16-year-old, for your first year, you're not going to get a lot of playing time. And I've also read the quote, be somewhere where you're not even just tolerated, but like celebrated.
Yes.
So, and that was, I mean, the coach from my current team, he was he was like, wow, you're such a great player. And he noticed so many small details where I was like, oh my God,
Right.
that's awesome. I mean, wow. I mean, he's a great coach, and I really look forward to playing the season with him.
I love that. Like, I wrote that down too. Be somewhere where you're celebrated, right? Because so
Yeah.
many times kids get on teams where they're not celebrated and their confidence suffers and they just don't have fun. So it's really important to put yourself around people, whether it's friends or teammates or coaches that celebrate you. So I love that.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, a couple more questions. So, kind of the big question for you is how has your confidence and mental game changed just kind of in general over the last year?
So I mean, it was a really long year.
Yeah.
um, just to get that up in front. But it actually, I had the feeling with the time it got better slowly. At the beginning, it was a slow process, and I was kind of not seeing results, which kind of annoyed me a bit. But with the time, and especially now, it's gone it's been working really good for me. And as you said in the previous question, or to get back to that, with the older women, um, I was like, okay, they're all so much older than me. Can I play at that level? And how will I play and stuff like that? And the reason I chose them is because they're still in a good league and they're a good team, and they play. I love their style of play. It's perfect for me, and they're really technical and stuff like that. And just playing there gives me way more confidence, and I really enjoy playing soccer again. Like, not that I didn't enjoy it before, but in the higher leagues, a lot of people, I think you've heard that, like, from some people, that they lose their fun. Do you say that in English? I mean, you say it in German like
Yeah,
that, but
yeah. You lose the love of the game. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I really, like, in the last, I've been there for like 1.5 months, and um I really love how I play now and how much fun it is, and it's just amazing. And so currently it's really confidence
Right.
up.
And I love how you were just honest. You're like, you know what? At first it was slow, right? Like
Yeah,
there was a lot of ups and downs, and that's what people need to realize is that when you work on
there
your
were downs
confidence,
too. That
yeah,
was
totally.
really, I
Right?
mean,
It's not like
at the beginning it was slow, then it went up, and then it just went down. I was like, wait a minute. That's not
yep,
how it's supposed to go. But
yep.
yeah,
But you
it
kept
will
working
come
on it.
eventually. Yeah, I kept working on it, and then eventually it got.
And do you think it's something that you'll still have to work on?
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially now after COVID, I mean, I think that's a lesson everyone should have learned something from, that it's like never really over. Or I mean, it's not because you can shoot great with your right foot, you would never stop practicing it. I mean, you still have to keep working on it. And I mean, it's, even if I go to college or now play with the women, it's not like, okay, because I'm having fun now, stop working on your mental side. I mean, I still want to get the best out of me, so still keep working on it. And if I go to college, that will be a higher level again. So I still have to keep working on it. I mean, my life is going on and I'm learning there, so I also have to keep the mental side updated.
I
in a
love
way.
it. I love it because so many people like they'll start to work on it and then they'll go down and they'll be like, this doesn't work. I'm not going to work on it anymore. And
And
they'll
I
never,
also noticed that. I mean,
yeah,
during the season, there was a time where I stopped working on it. I was
yeah,
completely focused on the games and training, and I noticed it. I was like, wait, you don't have to stop. I mean, it's getting worse again, so keep working
yeah.
on it.
Right.
Yeah,
Like you just have to keep working on it. Even when you don't see results, it takes time. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, but it's something like you said, you always, always, always have to work on it. No matter if
yeah,
you're at the lowest level or if you're at the pro level, like you have to continuously work on it. So thank you for just sharing like how your journey has been, because it's been real and you've been honest about it, which I really appreciate. Okay, last question. So
okay.
what I might ask you two more. Okay. I might ask you two more. What are you really excited? Like, well, I already asked you that, but like, what are your goals right now? I know you just joined your new team, but like what's kind of like your big goal with your soccer career or academics or whatever?
So, with school, I just want to get my good grades and finish my exams well and balance the soccer like in a good way. Um, yeah, and then with soccer, they're a really good team, and in my opinion, they could play a higher league. And I really want to how do you say that? Move up a league.
Yeah. Move up. Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people say that's not a realistic goal, or everybody
Good.
says that, but I really do want to move up with this team because I don't know, I just they could totally play in the third league or even in the second. Don't want to say too much here, but
Yeah.
they would definitely, or what I've experienced in the first 1.5 months, they are a great team, and I really think that they could play higher. Next to that, for myself, I just want to mentally really like keep this, or even, yeah.
Increase it.
Yes, thank you.
I
And
got you.
now, like having fun and just connecting that and getting used to being like consistent with the mental side, and bringing my like performing well and being consistent doing that. So yeah, like not as just, oh, I had a good game here, like having a lot of good games in a row, and of
Mhm.
course playing well, experiencing the play in the women's league, evolving physically, mentally, technically, everything.
Do
So
you
yeah,
still want to go to the US and play college there?
yeah.
Okay, so college coaches, because
So
I know,
then after,
yeah.
yeah,
So that would be like your after, that would be like your next step after that.
yes.
Okay. So yeah,
So
college coaches that are listening to this, I just wanted to make sure they knew that that
hit
was,
me up.
yeah, hit her up. Which Jordan, where can they hit you up?
On my Instagram,
Which
which is
is,
Jordan Grundl.
we'll post it in the show
Cool.
notes.
Yeah.
Where else?
So on Twitter, it's the other way around. So Grundl Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah. Then if we get in contact, WhatsApp, iMessage. But
WhatsApp. There you go.
yeah.
Okay, cool. And we'll post your Twitter, we'll post your Instagram, we'll post all of that so that if people want to connect with you, if college coaches want to connect with you, and I know there's already a few in my circle that
Yeah.
loved your stuff and loved your highlight videos. And after listening to this, I'm sure they'll love you even more just because of your honesty and kind of hearing about how disciplined you are as a person and as a player. And then last kind of advice for if you were to give a piece of advice to a girl your age that's struggling with her confidence, what would you tell her?
So what I've learned from you and in general just over lockdown is that a lot of people like overthink a lot, and I did too, on other people's opinions. And I think that's like a really big problem that a lot of girls have. That they like think about what does the coach think, what do my parents think, and stuff like that. Just just think don't think about that, because like mostly the coaches, they don't even think that way, like the way you think they think.
Yeah.
That was a lot of thinking, but that's why it's called overthinking. But I guess you know what I mean. And just yeah, concentrate on yourself and never stop working on the mental side, and stay consistent, and then everything will fall into its place.
That's beautiful. Like I couldn't give better advice than that. Like seriously, the comparison thing, being consistent. Jordan, you hit it all. This was amazing. So thank you so much for coming on. I know that there's going to be a lot of girls that get a lot of value from it. So thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for helping me.
You're welcome.